Hey guys, this is my response for the discussion post 1.1. So the first question is, what is your definition of spiritual disciplines? I came up with the definition that says these are practices completed on a consistent basis to mature in your spiritual formation. So different things that a person may do to grow in their relationship with Christ, to just mature in their walk. I think it's the discipline part is doing it on a consistent basis. How would you define inward, outward, and corporate disciplines? When I think about inward, I automatically thought of the scripture, and I don't know off the top of my head exactly what it is, but as a man thinketh, so is he. So when we think of inward disciplines, I think about the things that we think about, the things that we really, I just thought about inward introspection, like the things that I think about. Am I allowing thoughts to come into my mind that shouldn't be? Outward disciplines, I would say those are the things that I do. Those are those practices that I do on a daily basis. So my outward disciplines include prayer, include meditation, it can include a variety of things. So those are the actual disciplines that I'm doing outwardly. When I think of corporate disciplines, I think of things that I'm doing corporately with my church or corporately with other believers. So whether that's Bible study or coming together and worship together, that sort of thing. How do you practice spiritual disciplines? I think prayer journaling is one that I do. I believe that would be an outward discipline. Some of the inward disciplines that I do on a regular basis would be just prayer in general throughout the day. I try to continue to talk to God throughout the day. I think communication is the foundation of any relationship. Which one of these do I practice often and not so often? Um, I would say that not so often is meditation. I've actually found myself trying meditation more often, not medication, meditation. I have on my Fitbit watch an app on there that helps you to like a breathing exercise, and that's really been helping to in my meditation. Just taking time out in the day to slow down and removing distractions have been a big discipline for me as well in general. Removing social media from my life at certain times of the day and being intentional. I think that's another thing about being having a discipline. It's intentional. So I get up and go to the gym every morning, but I have to be intentional about it. I have to set my mind the night before that I'm going to set my alarm to get up. And that's a discipline that I have to be intentional about. And then the last question is, were you taught or exposed to the practices of spiritual discipline as a young person? I would say, yeah. I think that I've kind of I found my own voice. I found what works for me. I grew up in a really tiny Methodist church um, as a young person, like 15 to 20 people, tiny church in the middle of nowhere. I've been exposed to different denominations. And throughout that, I've been able to kind of eat the meat and spit out the bones of the things that work for me as far as discipline. So when I was in the apostolic church, I was taught to speak in tongues and pray in tongues. And that's not really a discipline that I feel like is necessary anymore as I've matured in my walk with Christ. And not to say there's anything wrong with that, but for me, I don't feel like I have to do that as a discipline daily. Um, yeah, absolutely exposed to prayer, I think, was the biggest one. As a child, praying as a family is huge. Even today, when I go home, I have five siblings. If we ever meet for a family gathering, we are required to stand in a circle, hold hands, and each of us say a prayer, go around the circle and say a prayer per the instruction of my mother. So, absolutely exposed, but I think I've also picked up some of my own disciplines that have worked for me throughout the years. So, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say.